right, this is Joel Farrell with Mortgage Lending for Entrepreneurs. We are in downtown Denver, and I've got two amazing guests who I last saw in Las Vegas for like a minute at the One Rental at a Time conference.
Yeah.
I've got Jeff White and Suleyka. Thank you all for joining me and spending time out of your day. Okay, so 1 unit, 2 unit,
Yeah. But the two
and
unit,
then the
yeah.
ADU.
Oh no, so the ADU we were in. So
okay.
the 2 unit we were rented to one family. They just took they did like a 6-bedroom thing. It
Yeah,
was
she had a
3-bedroom, 1
voucher
bath
for a
each.
lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we got about 35 plus 24, so
Okay.
$5,900 for a
Okay.
$2,800 month mortgage and living free.
Yeah.
So you see the power of it. Yeah, we benefit from a low rate environment, which we didn't know at the time, but we're like, hey, it still works for us. We don't mind sacrificing a little bit, live with roommates, because we knew there was light at the end of the tunnel. That was the big thing. We knew it's like, hey, we're not gonna be living with like roommates every single time, or sharing bath, or not
our whole lives
sharing our
or
space
anything.
every
Yeah.
single time. But there was like, oh my God, this is working. We're actually proving the results of our efforts. It's like, it's working.
Yeah.
So let's keep going. And she was on board, and it's like, hey, and we had good systems. We downsized, we organized everything. She's a master organizer of stuff and knows how I'm a more hoarder of boxes and certain things. I can't emotionally attach to boxes, and
Just in case.
yeah,
Right? He's got
exactly.
just in case.
Yeah.
It's such a cool box.
Yeah, I like the box. Like, if I need to look at it for something, I'm like, well, I just want to make sure there's like a feature I didn't miss on this thing. And but yeah, we downsized. That was the thing too, is downsizing is actually a really good thing for everybody. And I think by us doing the strategy, we limited a lot of stuff, and now we live, pretty much out of 15 boxes, right?
Yeah.
20 boxes.
Yeah, and trying to go even lower than that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the less stuff I have, the freer I feel and the better, and the less you're spending on like things, and you're able to spend it on experiences, on moments. And so that's huge for me.
So
And I'm glad Jeff's on board too. Like those boxes, I'm like, Jeff, just take a picture of the box and like you can look
It
at
was hard.
later on.
I still
was
miss
hard,
those
I
boxes.
know.
I miss them.
These are like a box or like a vacuum or like just random toaster. You're like, oh no, it's such a cool
I
box.
like the box. I don't know. I just couldn't. So everyone has their thing, right? About how they hoard something.
that means you must have an Apple phone.
No, I have a Samsung.
You're missing
is
out.
why.
The Apple boxes are amazing. They're just
Oh yeah, they are cool. Huh?
Yeah,
Those
yeah.
boxes. Yeah.
There's so much that goes into like the strategy, right? I mean, you've got, the navigating the different types of properties and the renting and rent by room and the sacrificing. That third and fourth one, I think is so important because, I always talk about the first one. People say the first one's the hardest, I disagree. The second one I always say is the hardest because most people, like I've got high school friends and they get married, have kids, and they've bought houses and then they sold them and bought the next one. And they used the cash proceeds for down payment on the next one and sold it. And so like, it was just easy transition, but to keep it as a rental. And if you're not selling it, that means you have to figure out how you're going to have money for down payment. That means you have to save up or find other ways to be able to come up with the down payment. So that second one, that first one's in your ratios in some way you have to handle. Maybe it's a lease or maybe it's in your returns for rental income. And then have the money for down payment makes it much more challenging to navigate. And so then to do it 3 and 4 times is next level. But then on the lending side of things, you have to paint the story of how you're going to be using it as a primary residence as well. And so, and then you're throwing the downsizing part of it. So you're going to buy a smaller property and this is going to be your primary residence. So if you could, how was the process of working with a lender and then painting that picture to be able to make sure that they can consider it a primary residence? Was it hard? Was it difficult? Is it, back and forth? Like, how did that go?
Yeah, how did that go?
Yeah, I mean, the lender I worked with at that time, it was, I did a letter of explanation. And I remember saying like, oh, we will occupy this. And the fourplex, the single family, I don't think they had an issue with that.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was the one before it, actually going from the condo to the fourplex.
Okay.
They were like, well, why would you want to go from that beautiful condo to a unit in a fourplex? So I explained to them like, oh yeah, we want to downsize. I forgot what I said in the letter, but basically that's the one where they scrutinized a little bit more.
Okay.
But from the fourplex, the first one to second one, they didn't have issues. And then the second to third one, because we hit that 1 year requirement, they didn't even have me do a line LOE or a letter of explanation.
Because at that point, you're going from a single family home
Yeah.
to a bigger single family home.
Correct. And then
in price or
right.
whatever. Okay.
Yeah. So, and then it went from, the 375 to 485 to 592. And then when we went to number 5, actually, it's interesting.
Hold on. So when you went from the third one, which is single family, into the duplex with ADU, they didn't have any questions for that one either?
No.
Or did you do an LOX? No?
No, actually, that one, because that was bigger. It was even bigger than the third one. So it was, they didn't have us, because we hit the 1 year requirement.
It was like, what, 11 rooms?
Yeah, it was a monster. Yeah, it was 6 bed, 2 bath, up down, 3 bed, 1 bath, up down duplex, and then a 4 bed, 2 bath ADU with the 2 car garage.
Okay. Geography wise, this is my first time to Denver. So like my buddy lives in Cherry Creek and we're there, and we're in Glendale, which is like its own little thing.
Separate
from
city.
Denver, which, then we have come downtown. It's like a 15-minute ride, not too bad. So what kind of radius, or where are your guys' properties?
West Denver. And that's basically, so I-25 heads on up, like kind of splits up or sideways of Colorado. So it's on the west side of the highway. And that's where we try to stay. But sometimes things, a good deal comes up and you're just like, okay, well, let's get one over there. So, but mostly in West Denver. Yeah.
So out of 8 out of 11 of them are within 5 minutes of each other.
Okay. Super close.
And then
that helps with contractors too.
Yes. Yeah. So we do like that convenience factor. And they're different types of properties, different conditions. So they don't necessarily, in different unit sizes. So they don't like compete with each other. So we don't have like a 3-bedroom over here, and 3-bedroom over here. And they're like, oh, they're going to cannibalize our own tenants. So it works out pretty well.
Okay. And I want to go back for a second to the very beginning one more time. So when you mentioned buying that multifamily, like you knew what the plan was. Obviously, your brand new strategy, whatever. What was the inspiration? Was it a book? Was it a conversation? Like what made this vision, this blueprint so crystal clear to like, hey, this is gonna be what we want to do?
So it goes back to when her sister bought her place. She told me, her sister was living in a duplex. And I remember we're living in the condo. So this is before house hacking. And this owner of the duplex was going to sell it. Suleyka comes to me and says, well, why don't you just buy it so my sister doesn't have to move?
Yeah, I felt bad. I was like, oh, now they have to move. The owner had passed away and the wife was like, I'm not going to be a landlord. I'm going to sell this. So you guys have, 30 to 60 days to move out. And my sister and my mom lived there. My brother lived there. I was like, God, I feel so bad. I was like, Jeff, can you buy the house and rent it back to them? And Jeff's like, no, I just bought this condo. And I just see Jeff as like, Jeff can do anything. So I was like, could you please? And looking back, Jeff's like, damn, I should have got that because it was like in a really nice area. Big duplex. And it would have cash flowed like amazingly. So, but it kind of got it going. And then a couple months later, Jeff read a paragraph in a book talking about house hacking, talking about living in one unit, renting out others, and reducing your biggest expense, which is your mortgage. And he told me about it. And he's like, what if we do this strategy? And I was like, okay, that's fine. Like I was so on board. I was blinded by love, but it worked out for me because I didn't care that we had to leave this beautiful condo with high ceilings and like my own bathroom and our own kitchen and just our own space. But it was absolutely worth it. So it's fun.
And that really was that literally one paragraph. That's all it was.
I just didn't say anything else.
Yeah, I don't remember what the rest of the book said. It was a good book, but I'm like, that one paragraph is like, holy crap, I could buy a multifamily, live in one unit, rent out the others, live for free. I didn't know that was a thing. I thought people, when you saw duplexes or fourplexes, that was like townhome style, where someone bought each unit. I didn't know you could buy up to 4.
Mm-hmm.
Because we were living in a condo. It's like, oh, we we already living next to people anyways. So how about we own the whole building and then we could live for free? And it's like, oh, I could take that $1,500 a month mortgage plus HOA payment down to zero. And then now we could just grow our savings rate and, pursue this strategy. And she was on board. Yeah. I didn't have to like break it down. She's like, okay, let's go.
Yeah. And also, well, he had the promise that like, we'll eventually like start building cash flow and then we'll be able to do more trips together, spend more time together. And I was like, yeah. So that was like a huge thing for me, and I didn't care. And we really did get to spend more time together because literally it was just us in the room all the time.
It was, yeah, without
And
even knowing. Yeah.
the lockdown happened, COVID happened, we had to work from home. So we're like in this tiny room. Jeff's working on his computer. I'm working on my computer. We both still had, our jobs that we still had to get to, but we were able to work like side by side. That was like one of my most favorite memories of living all cramped up. It was great.